If you are a woman over 35 trying to get pregnant, you have probably already spent a small fortune on supplements from a late-night Google spiral. You know the feeling, the waiting, the hoping, the disappointment that lands like a punch every single month. Maybe your doctor told you your egg quality is declining. Maybe your AMH is low. Maybe you have just been told that time is working against you. Here is what nobody is telling you. Your eggs are not just aging, they are running out of energy. Inside every egg cell are tiny structures called mitochondria, microscopic batteries that produce the energy your egg needs to mature properly, divide correctly, and become a healthy embryo. After 35, those batteries start losing their charge. And when an egg does not have enough energy, the chromosomes inside it can separate incorrectly during division. That is what leads to poor egg quality, failed fertilization, embryos that do not implant, and early miscarriage. Research confirms it. Mitochondrial function is one of the strongest predictors of egg quality, and it declines measurably after your early 30s. The standard advice is to take a prenatal and hope for the best. But a prenatal was designed for pregnancy, not egg quality. It does not touch what is happening inside your cells right now. 5 specific science-backed supplements, most under 30 pounds a month, have been shown in clinical research to do exactly that. Today, I am walking you through each one. What it does, the exact dose, the exact timing, and the mistakes that stop it from working. And one of those mistakes is something millions of women are making right now without realizing it. It can quietly cancel out the benefits of everything else on this list. I will show you what it is before the end. Once you hear it, you will never look at your supplement routine the same way again. Let us start with the most important one. Supplement number 1, CoQ10. If there is one supplement on this entire list that fertility researchers keep coming back to, it is this one. And most women have either never heard of it or have no idea how critical it is. Remember those tiny batteries, the mitochondria? CoQ10 is the molecule that sits right at the heart of their energy production chain. It is literally the spark plug that keeps the engine running. Your body makes CoQ10 naturally, but here is the catch. So production peaks in your mid-20s and declines steadily from there. By 35, you have significantly less of it. By 40, the drop is steep, and your eggs, which are the most energy-demanding cells in your entire body, feel that loss more than anything else. Without enough CoQ10, your eggs cannot produce the energy they need to mature and divide correctly. It is not that your eggs are old, it is that they are underfueled. CoQ10 exists in 2 forms. Ubiquinone is the standard form found in most supplements. Ubiquinol is the active reduced form your body can use more readily. Both work, but ubiquinol has higher bioavailability, especially important as you get older, because your body's ability to convert ubiquinone into ubiquinol also declines with age. CoQ10 also acts as a powerful antioxidant inside the egg cell and protecting DNA from oxidative damage, another major contributor to poor egg quality. A randomized controlled trial published in Reproductive Biomedicine Online studied women with diminished ovarian reserve who took 600 milligrams of CoQ10 daily for 2 months before IVF. The CoQ10 group produced more mature eggs, had higher fertilization rates, and, crucially, more high-quality embryos compared to the control group. A separate meta-analysis found that CoQ10 supplementation was associated with increased clinical pregnancy rates in women undergoing assisted reproduction. The researchers noted that the younger the woman at the time of supplementation, the more pronounced the benefits, which suggests that starting early rather than waiting produces the best outcomes. The biggest mistake women make with CoQ10 is buying the cheapest bottle without checking the form. Standard ubiquinone in a dry capsule has poor absorption. If you are over 35, you want ubiquinol specifically in a soft gel with an oil base because CoQ10 is fat-soluble and needs fat to absorb properly. Taking it with a fat-free breakfast or on an empty stomach wastes a significant portion of what you just swallowed. The second mistake is dose. Many prenatal formulas include a token 30 or 50 milligrams of CoQ10 as a marketing tick box. The studies showing real benefits use doses between 200 and 600 milligrams daily. That is a world apart from what most over-the-counter prenatals provide. How to take it: 200 milligrams of ubiquinol twice a day, once with breakfast and once with dinner. Make sure both meals contain some healthy fat. Avocado, eggs, olive oil, nuts, anything that gives the CoQ 10 something to dissolve into. Split the dose rather than taking it all at once, because your body absorbs smaller amounts more efficiently. Start at least 90 days before you plan to try to conceive. Why 90 days? Because that is approximately how long it takes for an egg to mature from its dormant state to ovulation. The egg you ovulate 3 months from now is being influenced by your nutritional environment right now. Within the first 2 to 4 weeks, many women report improved energy levels generally. The egg quality benefits are happening silently, and they become measurable after approximately 60 to 90 days. If you have been told your egg quality is low or your AMH is declining, comment CoQ10 below. I want to know how many of you are already taking it, and how many are hearing about it for the first time today. Supplement number 2, myo-inositol. This next supplement costs less than £1 a day, and yet a growing body of research suggests it can help restore ovulation, improve egg quality, and even increase pregnancy rates in IVF. And your fertility doctor may never have mentioned it. Here is something that connects more women than most people realize. Even if you have never been diagnosed with PCOS, your blood sugar regulation plays a direct role in your egg quality. Insulin resistance, where your cells stop responding efficiently to insulin, does not just affect your weight or your energy. It disrupts the hormonal signals that tell your ovaries to release a mature egg. Elevated insulin drives up androgen levels, which interferes with ovulation. It also creates an inflammatory environment inside the follicles where your eggs are developing. And mild insulin resistance is far more common after 35 than most women are told. Myo-inositol is a naturally occurring compound, a member of the B vitamin family, that acts as a second messenger in your insulin signaling pathway. In simple terms, it helps your cells listen to insulin properly. When they do, your blood sugar stays stable. Androgen levels come down, and the hormonal environment around your developing eggs becomes healthier. It also appears to have a direct effect on egg quality independent of insulin. Research suggests that the concentration of myo-inositol in follicular fluid, the liquid surrounding your developing egg, correlates directly with the quality of the egg itself. Higher myo-inositol in the follicle, better egg quality. Multiple clinical trials have shown that 4 grams of myo-inositol daily improves menstrual regularity, restores ovulation in women with PCOS, and improves egg and embryo quality in IVF cycles. A combined approach using myo-inositol and D-chiroinositol in a 40-to-1 ratio has been shown to be particularly effective for women with polycystic ovary syndrome. The most common mistake is the dose. Myo-inositol is sold in capsules of 500 milligrams or 1 gram, and many women take just 1 or 2 capsules a day thinking that is sufficient. The research dose is 4 grams, 4,000 milligrams, per day. This is why many women find powder form far more practical. You dissolve it in water and drink it. The second mistake is confusing D-chiroinositol with myo-inositol. Too much D-chiroinositol on its own can actually harm egg quality. If you use a combined product, make sure it follows the 40-to-1 ratio, 40 parts myo to 1 part D-chiro, which mirrors the natural ratio found in the human body. How to take it? Dissolve 2 grams of myo-inositol powder in a glass of water in the morning and another 2 grams in the evening on an empty stomach or between meals for best absorption. Many women mix it into their morning lemon water or herbal tea. It has a mildly sweet taste and dissolves easily. Like CoQ10, start at least 3 months before trying to conceive. If you have irregular cycles, many women notice their periods becoming more predictable within 2 to 3 months. If you are tracking ovulation, you may start seeing clearer, more consistent ovulation signs. If you have PCOS or have been told you have insulin resistance, type inositol in the comments. This is one of the most underrated supplements in the entire fertility space, and I want to make sure every woman who needs it knows about it. Supplement number 3, omega-3. Most women think of omega-3 as a heart health supplement, but the same fatty acids protecting your heart are also directly involved in building the membrane of every egg cell in your ovaries, and most women are critically low in them. Every cell in your body is surrounded by a membrane made primarily of fats. The quality of that membrane determines how well the cell functions, how efficiently it communicates, absorbs nutrients, and responds to signals. Your egg cells are no exception. The egg cell membrane is one of the most important structures in the entire fertilization process because the sperm must penetrate it and the resulting embryo must maintain membrane integrity as it divides. When your diet is low in omega-3 fatty acids, and in the modern Western diet, it almost certainly is, your cell membranes become less fluid, less responsive, and less functional. This affects not just the egg itself, but the follicular environment where the egg develops and the uterine lining where the embryo needs to implant. The two omega-3 fatty acids that matter most are EPA and DHA. EPA is primarily anti-inflammatory. It helps reduce the chronic low-grade inflammation that can damage developing follicles and disrupt the hormonal environment needed for conception. DHA is a structural component of cell membranes and is especially concentrated in reproductive tissues. Together, they help regulate the chemical messengers that influence everything from ovulation to implantation to early pregnancy. Our research published in reproductive health journals has found associations between higher omega-3 intake and improved fertility outcomes. Observational studies suggest that women with higher blood levels of omega-3 fatty acids have better ovarian reserve markers and improved IVF outcomes, including higher quality embryos. DHA in particular has been linked to better embryo morphology and implantation potential. Omega-3 supplementation has also been shown to reduce inflammatory markers elevated in conditions like endometriosis and PCOS, both of which can directly impair fertility. The biggest mistake is choosing a cheap fish oil that has already gone rancid. Omega-3 fatty acids are highly susceptible to oxidation, and a rancid fish oil does more harm than good. It actually increases oxidative stress rather than reducing it. If your capsule tastes strongly of fish or makes you burp fish flavor, it is likely oxidized. Always buy from a reputable brand that uses third-party testing for purity and freshness. The second mistake is dose. Most supermarket fish oil capsules contain only 300 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per capsule. You want at least 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily, with a higher proportion of DHA if fertility is your goal. How to take it. Take your omega-3 with your largest meal of the day, the one that contains the most fat. Store your fish oil in the fridge after opening to slow oxidation. If you prefer a plant-based source, look for algal DHA, which provides DHA directly from microalgae and is suitable for vegetarians. Also note that omega-3 works synergistically with vitamin D, which enhances both its absorption and its anti-inflammatory effects. Omega-3 fatty acids take roughly 6 to 8 weeks to fully incorporate into your cell membranes. The fertility-specific benefits develop over the full 90-day egg maturation window. If you are already taking omega-3, tap the like button so this video can reach more women who might not know how important it is. Supplement number 4, vitamin D. This supplement is something your body is designed to make from sunlight, and yet vitamin D deficiency may be one of the most overlooked barriers to conception that exists. Vitamin D receptors are found in nearly every tissue in the reproductive system: the ovaries, the uterus, the placenta, and the follicles where your eggs develop. That is not an accident. Your body needs vitamin D to regulate the hormonal processes that govern ovulation, implantation, and early pregnancy maintenance. When vitamin D is low, ovarian function can be impaired, the uterine lining may not develop optimally for implantation, and the immune environment of the uterus can be disrupted. Studies have linked vitamin D deficiency to reduced ovarian reserve, lower AMH levels, decreased IVF success rates, and increased risk of pregnancy complications. And here is the uncomfortable truth. If you live in the UK, Northern Europe, or anywhere above the 37th latitude, you cannot make adequate vitamin D from sunlight for roughly 6 months of the year. Even in summer, if you wear sunscreen, work indoors, or have darker skin, your production may be insufficient. Some estimates suggest that over 40% of women of reproductive age in the UK have inadequate vitamin D levels. The form you want is vitamin D3, also known as cholecalciferol, not D2. D3 is the form your body produces naturally from sunlight and is far more effective at raising and maintaining blood levels. Once in the body, D3 converts into its active hormonal form, which then binds to receptors throughout your reproductive system. A large review published in a leading fertility journal found that women with adequate vitamin D levels had significantly higher clinical pregnancy rates in both natural conception and IVF compared to women who were deficient, with some studies suggesting up to a 30% higher likelihood of clinical pregnancy. Research has also shown that vitamin D supplementation can improve menstrual regularity and ovulation in women with PCOS, and that deficiency is associated with higher rates of miscarriage and pregnancy-related complications. The most common mistake is relying on a multivitamin that contains only 400 IU of vitamin D. That is the minimum to prevent severe deficiency, not the optimal level for fertility. Most fertility specialists recommend maintaining a blood level of 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter, which typically requires 2,000 to 4,000 IU daily, depending on your starting level. The second mistake is taking vitamin D without vitamin K2. Vitamin D increases calcium absorption, and vitamin K2 directs that calcium into your bones rather than allowing it to deposit in your arteries or soft tissues. They are partners. The third mistake is never testing your levels. Without testing, you are guessing, and guessing is not a fertility strategy. How to take it? Take 2,000 to 4,000 IU of vitamin D3 with your fattiest meal of the day. Like CoQ10, it is fat-soluble. Pair it with vitamin K2, the MK7 form, 100 to 200 micrograms. Get your levels tested before starting and retest after 8 to 12 weeks to make sure you are in the optimal range. Your GP can order this, or you can use an at-home finger prick test. If you live in the UK or northern climate, comment sunshine below if you have never had your vitamin D levels tested. I will take that as a prompt to make content about how to get tested affordably. Supplement number 5, methylfolate. Now we reach the one that ties everything together. And this is the mistake I promised you at the beginning. The one thing that can quietly undermine every other supplement you take. You already know you should be taking folate before pregnancy. It prevents neural tube defects. Every doctor says it, every prenatal vitamin contains it. But here is what most women do not know. The folate in most prenatal vitamins is folic acid, the synthetic form, and folic acid is not folate. Your body must convert folic acid through several enzymatic steps before it can actually use it. The enzyme responsible for the final, critical conversion is called MTHFR. An estimated 25 to 60% of the population carries a variation in their MTHFR gene that reduces the efficiency of this conversion. For some, the reduction is mild. For others, it is significant enough that folic acid builds up in the bloodstream in its unconverted form, while the body remains functionally deficient in the folate it actually needs. Why does this matter for fertility? Because active folate, methylfolate, is essential for DNA synthesis, DNA repair, proper cell division, and the methylation processes that regulate gene expression in your developing eggs and early embryo. It also helps convert homocysteine into methionine. Elevated homocysteine has been associated with implantation failure and recurrent pregnancy loss. Methylfolate, also known as 5-MTHF or L-methylfolate, is the biologically active form of folate. It does not require conversion by the MTHFR enzyme. When you take it directly, your body receives the ready-to-use form immediately. This is why an increasing number of fertility specialists and prenatal supplement brands are moving away from folic acid and towards methylfolate. A scoping review published in a medical journal found that the MTHFR C677T mutation was present in roughly 49% of fertile women studied and nearly 59% of infertile women, suggesting a meaningful connection between folate metabolism and reproductive outcomes. In one case, series of couples with recurrent miscarriages and IVF failures. 6 out of 7 couples with more than 5 miscarriages achieved successful pregnancies after switching from high-dose folic acid to 400 micrograms of methylfolate daily for 4 months. It is important to be clear here. The CDC and major health organizations still recommend folic acid as the standard for neural tube defect prevention because that is where the strongest prevention data exists. Methylfolate has not been studied as extensively for NTD prevention specifically. So this is not about rejecting folic acid. It is about understanding that for some women, choosing a prenatal that includes methylfolate may provide a more complete form of folate support. Always discuss with your doctor. And this is the mistake I warned you about. Millions of women are taking CoQ10, inositol, omega-3, vitamin D, and the one vitamin they assume is handled by their prenatal is the one their body may not be able to fully use. They are doing everything right, and the foundation, the folate that supports DNA synthesis and cell division at the most fundamental level, may be incomplete. The fix is simple. Look at the back of your prenatal vitamin right now. If it says folic acid and nothing else, consider switching to a prenatal that includes methylfolate, listed as L-methylfolate, 5-MTHF, or quattrofolic on the label, or add a standalone methylfolate supplement alongside your current prenatal. How to take it: 400 to 800 micrograms of methylfolate daily. Take it at the same time every day. Morning is ideal, with or without food, as folate is water-soluble. Pair it with a B12 supplement, because methylfolate and B12 work together in the methylation cycle. Without enough B12, even good methylfolate levels cannot do their full job. Start at least 3 months before trying to conceive. Neural tube development happens in the first 28 days of pregnancy, often before you even know you are pregnant. The folate you build up before conception is what protects your baby in those critical early days. Go check your prenatal right now. Pause this video if you need to. Look at the label. If it says folic acid and you have never heard of methylfolate before today, comment folate below. I want to know how many women this reaches for the first time. Now you know the 5 supplements, so let me show you how to actually fit them into your day, because this does not need to be complicated. No spreadsheet, no pharmacy degree. Just a simple routine built around 2 meals. There are 3 you take every single day without exception. Methylfolate at 400 to 800 micrograms. CoQ10 as ubiquinol at 400 milligrams split across 2 doses, and vitamin D3 at 2,000 to 4,000 IU paired with your vitamin K2. These are your non-negotiables. Then alongside those, your myo-inositol at 4 grams a day in water, and your omega-3 at a minimum of 1,000 milligrams combined EPA and DHA. Here is what that actually looks like in the morning. You sit down for breakfast and make sure there is some healthy fat on that plate, because 3 of these supplements need it to absorb properly. With that meal, you take your CoQ10, your omega-3, your vitamin D3 plus K2, and your methylfolate. Then somewhere between breakfast and lunch, you mix 2 grams of myo-inositol into a glass of water and drink it. That is your entire morning. It takes about 30 seconds. Evening routine. With dinner, again, a meal with some fat. Take your second CoQ10 dose. Then drink your second glass of myo-inositol water. That is it. 5 supplements, 2 meals, 2 glasses of water, under 5 minutes of your day. What to expect? In weeks 1 and 2, you may notice improved energy, better mood stability, and more restful sleep. These are signs that the CoQ10, vitamin D, and omega-3 are being absorbed and beginning to work. By weeks 4 to 6, if you have been deficient in vitamin D or folate, your blood levels should be improving. If you have irregular cycles, you may begin to notice subtle shifts towards regularity from the myo-inositol. By weeks 8 to 12, you are in the sweet spot. The eggs you are ovulating now have had 3 months of optimized nutritional support. If you are doing IVF, this is the point at which clinics typically see improved response to stimulation and better embryo quality. By 3 to 6 months, consistent supplementation combined with a healthy diet and lifestyle gives your eggs the strongest possible foundation. Now, even if you take every supplement on this list, these 5 mistakes can quietly undo all of it. The first mistake is starting too late. If you start supplements the month you begin trying, you have missed the boat for the eggs you are ovulating in that cycle. Those eggs began maturing 90 days ago. Start at least 3 months before you plan to conceive. Earlier is better. Mistake number 2 is buying the cheapest option without checking the form. CoQ10 as ubiquinone in a dry capsule is poorly absorbed. Methylfolate is not the same as folic acid. Omega-3 from a rancid bottle does more harm than good. Vitamin D2 is not as effective as D3. The form matters as much as the dose. Mistake number 3 is ignoring hydration. And almost every cellular process in your body, including the ones these supplements are supporting, depends on adequate water intake. If you are dehydrated, absorption drops, nutrient transport slows, and blood flow to the ovaries and uterus is reduced. Aim for at least 2 liters of water a day. Another mistake people make is expecting supplements to fix everything alone. Supplements support your body's processes, they do not override them. Sleep, stress management, moderate exercise, a diet rich in antioxidants and healthy fats, and reducing alcohol and processed food are all part of the picture. Supplements amplify a healthy foundation. They cannot compensate for one that does not exist. And mistake number 5 is not working with your doctor. These supplements are supported by research, but your individual situation may require different doses or additional interventions. If you have endometriosis, thyroid issues, a history of miscarriage, or are on medication, particularly blood thinners or statins, always consult your healthcare provider before starting or changing your protocol. This information is educational, not medical advice. I want to be honest with you for a moment. If you are over 35 and trying to conceive, you have probably been made to feel like time is your enemy, like your body is working against you, like the window is closing and there is nothing you can do but panic and hope. That is not the full picture. Your body is not broken. It is not failing you. It is simply operating with a depleted supply of the raw materials it needs to do one of the most extraordinary things in nature, create new life. And when you give it those materials, the right ones, in the right forms, at the right time, it responds. Study after study shows that it responds. You do not need to do everything at once. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. 1 supplement today is better than 5 supplements started and stopped. A 90-day commitment to this protocol costs less than a single round of fertility testing and has the potential to improve the quality of every egg you produce for cycles to come. So here is what I want you to do right now. Pick 1 supplement from this list, just 1. If you have to choose, start with CoQ10. Order it tonight, start tomorrow morning, commit to it for 90 days. If this video helped you understand something about your fertility that nobody had explained before, please tap the like button. It costs you nothing, but it tells the algorithm to show this to other women searching for answers right now, just like you were. And if you want more content like this, on fertility after 35, on natural ways to support your eggs, on the things your doctor does not have time to tell you in a 15-minute appointment, subscribe and turn on notifications. I am building this channel for you. Drop a comment below. Which supplement from this list are you going to start with first? I read every single comment and I am here to answer your questions. Remember, you are not alone in this. You are not too late, and your body is more capable than anyone has given it credit for. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next video.